But let's start with this, our chart of the day. And remember, we're bringing you a number or a chart each and every day. This has been released by Brand Finance, a brand valuation company, and it's a conglomeration, well, a list of the top media brands in the world. So you can see that Disney is right at the top, Fox itself in number 2. And remember, the news division of Fox has been controversial, it's been criticized, it's been praised. It depends where you stand. And then we have a lot of the American brands, and we can talk about the coverage before and after the US elections. Well, one of the directors locally, Brand Finance, is Jeremy Sampson, and he joins us now, and I'm so happy to have you with us in studio again, Jeremy.
Francis, great to be with you.
Okay, so we've got this behind us. Let's just start with how you determine the value, the inherent value in these brands.
Basically, the valuation is done without the cooperation of the brand, of the client. So figures come through, financial figures from people like Bloomberg and financial analysts, but also one does an assessment of the emotional, of the marketing side. And this is where Brand Finance will bridge between the marketing side and the financial side. And you have the brand strength score, which is more the emotional, the marketing side, and you have the financials. And that's how you put them together. And this is where Brand Finance has been doing this for 21 years or so. It's iOS recognized. So that's where it has a certain amount of integrity.
So Disney is still lucrative. It's still well known. This is incredible. This brand has been around for almost forever.
And everyone loves it. You know, look at your face. You're smiling about it. You have a warmth to it.
It has great connotations.
And when you look at the brand values of Disney, no cynicism is one of their values, which is fantastic today. Who do you trust? And that's where Disney is one of those brands that you can trust. You'll take your children to their films because you know they'll be encapsulated in integrity. But then, as you say, number 2 is Fox, which is a little bit more controversial because very much on the right side of politics. And of course, at the moment, everyone's looking at politics in the States, and they've been playing a huge role.
So we have to talk about Fox, but this isn't only the news division, is it? Because that's the more controversial part.
Well, exactly. And this is where one's got to remember that a brand is all the bits of it. You can segment the brand by its activities, you can segment the brand by its geography, where it's active, and by its products, and you put that all together. So this is the total value of the total brand. So
this is incredible to me. So to be honest, I'm biased. I don't find Fox that trustworthy. It is an extreme right, so it depends where you are politically. How much of this reflects trust in their news brand?
I think it actually indicates that there is a lot of trust. You know, it's interesting, you go to different parts of the world and ask people about things and you have a different perspective. In London 3 weeks ago when these were launched, it was interesting again, everyone was talking Brexit in London, whereas in the States everyone's talking Trump, and increasingly everyone's talking Trump around the world. Trump has become a brand as well. But this is where you look at the different news, coming from SABC, people trust Peter and yourself because you come across with integrity and gravitas and you play that role.
Well, thank you very much.
That's where Fox is doing that as well. And even though they're a little bit controversial, people like the personalities within the shows.
This is incredible. And NBC, CBS, we don't know a lot of these American brands. We know CNN, so I guess it's what's played out on DSTV, etc. in Africa.
Well, you're absolutely right, but this is where Brand Finance is based in London, looks at the world, does the best global 500, and then does these sector rankings. So this is, media is just one of those sectors, and they do about 30 of those, which come out over a period of 2 months or so. But always looking at the figures, always looking at the emotive, the marketing side, which is encapsulated as brand strength, putting it all together. And you can imagine it creates huge interest and huge comment. And sometimes individual companies get rather upset if they've gone down, whereas if they've gone up, they're very, very happy.
So huge interest, I'm sure, even from Donald Trump. I mean, looking at this, the brand that supports his brand is above all the others that are more critical. Does that suggest something about where politics can even go in America, do you think?
Well, look at the pasting that CNN has been receiving from Donald Trump. where he's actually banned them from his press briefings. And he's been really beating them up quite strongly at the moment. And that must affect the brand, because a lot of people believe Donald Trump before they believe CNN. And this is where the power of an individual brand, whether you like Trump or not, he's taken the media by the throat over the last 6 months or so. It's incredible how he's dominated the media and continues to do so. He's actually rewriting the rule book.
It is incredible, and it's heartbreaking for me. I don't like those attacks. I don't think he should be allowed to exclude anybody. I would think it would raise the CNN brand, but in fact not.
Well, this is where it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Depends
because
on trust.
a lot of people are waiting for Trump to fall or be impeached or whatever, and who knows. He seems to be thinking in terms of 8 years, which I think gives a lot of people the horrors. But what it's redoing is changing the media landscape. After all, he's using Twitter as his main form of communication. And I think it was Warren Buffett who said some years ago, and it was some years ago, it takes 20 years to build a reputation. You can lose it in 5 minutes. Well, today you can lose it in 20 seconds.
Sure.
Now, that's where a tweet or something changes things, as we've had in this country as well with Mrs. Sparrow, etc. So you've got to recognize the fact that he is connecting with people, and he's almost undermining the media in some ways, which is back to your point, which is very worrying in many ways.
And he keeps on using that phrase, fake news, and people are picking up on it. So what does that mean for the valuation of media companies, this increasing sense of distrust?
I think it's going to create more and more volatility, because there are certain things which were set in stone, which over the years you had these institutions, these media houses, and now, first of all, they're jockeying much more for position, ratings and whatever, and there's more and more movement. But he's showing that he can actually impact the value of certain channels, which is incredible. The importance of a personality on one show or another, getting the ratings, keeping them up, because that then impacts your advertising and your advertising revenues. So you've got to look at the totality of what's going on. But he really is causing disruption in many, many ways.
What advice would you give in finality to a media company right now with this onslaught? Because it's affecting news here at home as well. Often this claim, fake news comes up if people don't like what media organizations are saying.
Well, it's creating a very interesting debate. What is the truth? What is fake news?
And maybe we need that debate.
Well, I think people say that we've had twisted truth, or people are careful with the truth in many ways. So when ad agency talks about truth told truthfully, that immediately makes you wonder, well, what is the real truth? And this is where people watching this show, you can have 6 different people have slightly different views. Now, that's their view, that's what they think, that's the truth as far as they're concerned. So it is a very interesting debate, but we know there are other people who will try and influence the truth and give it a different spin. And I don't like to use the word spin, but that's the reality. There's a lot of spinning going on, and it's actually increasing, especially with multimedia and all the different channels to market. After all, a few years ago, the only media was, say, the SABC. Now anyone has a voice, and through Facebook, whatever, it's going to grow, not be less.
And hopefully all those different channels help you get at the truth. You're not getting only one angle, a plethora of angles. But I think this debate needs to go on. And hopefully we come out of the other side stronger as media houses. I don't know. But thank you for your time. And let's chat in future. That was Jeremy Sampson, brand finance representative in South Africa.